2025. That's what everyone is telling us about if Donald Trump gets inaugurated. Project 2025 is going to completely take over. Everyone is going to become oppressed and suppressed and taken advantage of, and it's going to be really, really crazy. And I've had multiple people pull me to the side, like genuinely concerned about this, like afraid of Project 2025. And we're going to get to the bottom of it today as best as we can. Obviously, there's a lot of pages to read through, so we're not going to go through all of it. You guys can go read Project 2025 for yourself. But I think there's some basic facts about it. Now, I know and have had someone on the channel that works for the organization that's creating Project 2025. Delano Squires, who's a friend of mine, works for the Heritage Foundation. Sweet guy. He's a man of God. He is extremely conservative in his politics, perhaps a bit more conservative than I am, maybe in some of his politics, maybe even some of the way he talks about his politics. But nevertheless, loves Jesus, and it works for the Heritage Foundation, which is behind Project 2025. And so I had a clip pulled up of the founder, I believe, of Project 2025 going over some of the FAQs about it. Okay, so let's jump into this clip, and then we'll stop and interject as we can. Go ahead.
Here on 93 WIBC and the Daily Signal, I'm Tony Kinnett, and I'm sure you've heard all of the nonsense about Project 2025. Of course, that's all many are hearing about on the legacy media because that's all they have to talk about. Certainly can't discuss all of the things that they have colluded in hiding over the last couple of years. So, you know, if we're going to talk about the conspiracy theories, the tinfoil around Project 2025, we're going to go to the source, and we're going to bring on Dr. Kevin Roberts from the Heritage Foundation. Sir, good evening.
Thanks for having me, Tony. Love your show. Love everything you do, and it's a pleasure to be with you.
So let's dig right into some of the basics. I mean, there's some good stuff here. I mean, as a former teacher, and you as a former teacher, we love it when people make some kind of claims because we expect a source to back it up. You know, that's how we used to grade our kids' papers. You know, where's your source? Where's the text for it? And I got out the big honking mandate for leadership, and I looked through some of the claims, and I hope that, you know, we go through them, you know, because Media Matters is going to be watching this later. And so we ought to help them out and do a little fact checking ourselves. Does Project 2025 ban all Muslims from coming into the country?
Absolutely not. That's one of many lies that the left has perpetrated against this project. This is, as you know, Tony, so well, just a simple, although certainly broad-scale policy document that the next president of the United States, probably and hopefully President Trump, will be able to choose from if he so chooses. And I think that's what's driven the left crazy and why they're distorting everything, including the point that you mentioned.
I think that's pretty accurate.
So foundationally, it's important to note that Project 2025 is a document that's put together by the Heritage Foundation as a way to have, quote unquote, agenda for and if a Republican takes the office.
The conservative agenda.
The conservative agenda. So that is what it is. It's actually not connected to Trump directly. Trump doesn't own it, claim it, or support it as of right now. But that's what it is. And I'm going to have another clip that was sent over by a liberal friend of mine that I have in the notes that we'll look at after this. But go ahead.
Again, having read through the document, I can't find anything based on that claim that's been shared by everyone up to and including the Associated Press, who also claims that the conservative groups have drawn up a plan, being Project 2025, to dismantle the U.S. government and replace it with Trump's vision. Is that what Project 2025 does? Does it dismantle the entire U.S. government?
What it does is provide a corrective, which is a wildly popular idea, to the concentration of power in D.C. among unelected bureaucrats. So if it's dismantling anything, it's dismantling the monopoly on power that the left has. And keep in mind, whether it's the Associated Press or Media Matters or MSNBC or the Biden-Harris administration, these are all the same people who for the last 3.5 years have been telling us that the economy's fine, that in fact, inflation on groceries and rent and gas has not gone up. And in fact, that even President Biden is competent and capable. So
whoa.
I know
Sir,
this is just so terrible.
Are you telling me that the parties that are making these claims amid the worst crisis their party has faced in 47 years aren't trustworthy?
I know that this comes as a shock, Tony, to you and to your audience, but the answer to that is yes. And we have to have a little fun with this moment. Obviously, it's very serious. The president's health is serious.
Of course.
National security, this is serious business. But for those of us who do public policy every day or in the media every day as you are, sometimes the best way to deal with the left is just to laugh at their absurdity. And I think all of the mischaracterizations about Project 2025, while serious and dumb and evil, ultimately point to the fact that the left has nothing to run on. And we ought to celebrate this moment and look forward to, hopefully a very short time from now, their being out of power.
It really is incredible that the response.
So let's look at the other clip that I just dropped in the notes. And there are some claims about the Department of Education being closed. Okay. And this is JD Vance. Okay. The new vice president pick, and what apparently he said about Project 2025. Let's see what this is and what we think about it. Go ahead.
I tend to think that we should seize the institutions of the left and turn them against the left, right? We need like a de-Bathification program, but like a de-wokeification program in the United States, right? So a lot of conservatives have said we should deconstruct the administrative state. We should basically eliminate the administrative state. And I'm sympathetic to that project. Our option is that we should just seize the administrative state for our own purposes.
Shout out to Jay Wise, who rightfully pointed out that he is the doppelganger of the other guy who was doing the interview that we were just looking at. Go back. We just cut away back to the other guy.
That's hilarious.
That's...
JD Vance keeps appearing in my dreams.
Go ahead.
Fire all of the people. I mean, I think that what Trump should do, like if I was giving him one piece of advice, fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, replace them with our people. And when the courts, because you will get taken to court, and then when the courts stop you, stand before the country like Andrew Jackson did and say the Chief Justice has made his ruling, now let him enforce it. I tend to
see what I'm saying about the president's people being even more conservative than
yeah. That's conservative. Now, so my question would be, wouldn't you want that? Like, if you feel like there's been an ideological drift,
yeah,
wouldn't you want to clean house with a lot of the bureaucratic ruling class? So
I think he was saying that. I think he was even self-admitting, and I don't know anything about this. I'm just a dumb guy. That this is not under the power of the president.
After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys began to ask for something that had a planner. And so we combined our Bless God prayer journal with a brand new leadership planner that jam-packs the same things from our prayer journal with a planner, goal setting, leadership meeting, and notes. With the next pages, you can see different sections right along here of this leadership planner where you can start out with actionable goals, 12 months of calendar, our original prayer journal prompts, our leadership journal with the proven problem solution framework, and of course, just free write notes. This leadership planner is based off of Matthew 25:14-30, which of course is the parable of the talents. The vision of the planner is to help you make the most of your time, talent, and treasure. Head over to blessgod.shop and get yours today. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace. Yeah, this is what they're hoping will will happen.
But JD Vance was saying the president should just do it and then get taken to court.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. But I'm saying I understand it logically. How inflated
I wouldn't
is our
want it to
government?
happen on the other end.
It's already happened.
It's slowly, but and legally.
Slowly and legally. That's true.
I'm saying if we were fully conservative government right now, and then Biden was the new guy on block and got elected, and he just swept the whole thing, and then it took 2 years for the court things to figure it out. That's half the presidency. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So I want to talk about the idea of banning books, and that has happened in your state, Ray Rock. Mm-hmm. But and I have a solution. I have a solution that's going to bring everybody together.
He says that Trump allies 920-page plan to give Trump more power over your daily life. And then a lot of other claims. I've also seen this plan mentions Trump just hundreds of times. Tell me, was this plan crafted just for Donald Trump?
Absolutely not. Obviously, if President Trump wins, which we're hoping that he does from a policy standpoint, given his track record in his first term as president, then he's the boss. He gets to choose if he uses this plan. But this is a plan that has been updated every 4 years since Ronald Reagan's election. And what's great about this plan is that it covers every policy issue. It has involved over 110 conservative organizations, and it's been candidate agnostic because that's how we have to operate as a nonpartisan nonprofit. We're unabashedly conservative in terms of our ideology and philosophy, as you know, but we're not beholden to any party or to any candidate. Literally, Tony, we have offered briefings on Project 2025 over the last 18 months to every major candidate for the presidency on both sides of the aisle. And I think that to sum up here about the importance of this, what has driven the left crazy is that the political center-right has never been this organized. We've never been this unified. And if we look at President Trump's official Agenda 47, which is excellent, or the Republican Party's platform, which at least in political terms, I think is very effective and excellent. President Trump had a direct hand in that. Or if you look at the priorities of Project 2025, the overlap on that Venn diagram are all of the priority issues that the American people care about. We're totally over the target on the center-right in the United States, and I think that's what's got the left running scared. We ought to celebrate.
On with Dr. Kevin Roberts from the Heritage Foundation, just going through a few of these wilder claims. I know that you've been going on a lot of shows. People have been taking a lot of your perspective on the media frenzy, at least generated media frenzy over Project 2025. Just as a quick point here, because again, just opening up the book and seeing what's inside, the claim that Trump has mentioned hundreds of times. Looking through, it seems that every time Trump is mentioned in this book, it's just citing precedent under prior administrations. Obama's mentioned in here, Bush is mentioned in here, Clinton, Reagan. For example, on page 495, it says that the Department of Health and Human Services should restore, and then it talks about several guidance. It's just a conservative policy suggestion. And right underneath it says, in 2020, the Trump administration's OCR published regulations, it's just citing precedent. I don't find anything about that in there.
So look up Department of Education in the transcript real quick, and then look up banning books. Now, here's a real critique that I think people bring up is what DeSantis is banning books in Florida. I think that that's goofy.
It is.
I think banning books is goofy. I have a solution. That's much better than banning books. You got the Department of Education or no? Department of Health and Service? Okay, so they don't talk about. So potentially this is banning the Department of Education, trying to get rid of mid-level bureaucrats.
Awesome.
And there is some allure of they want to ban books that frame America as bad, American history is bad, which is like there's obviously dark parts of American history. So I think generally speaking, banning books is dumb.
And no, it's like banning, freedom of speech.
Yeah,
it is banning.
So my question to you would be, but at what point do we limit what we are allowing our children to be indoctrinated with? Meaning, like if there was overt books trying to teach Marxism and communism, we would draw lines around that. We'd be like, no, you can't teach that as fact. Right. So there would be certain things we wouldn't be comfortable with.
Right.
And so I don't know what these books are. I think saying things like they did in Florida, slaves learn valuable skills. Like that's just dumb. Like just
bad.
stop. Just stop.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Right? Like the Bible is clear that kidnapping people against their will is punishable by death, according to the Old Testament, right? If we're talking about a Christian worldview.
Wouldn't die
this
on that
wasn't
hill.
Job Corps.
Yeah, this was a job.
This was a job.
Was it an
corps
internship?
with a barbecue at the end?
So that's like some of the goofy stuff that I've heard
It's not
from
trade school.
that I've heard from the right that I just think is unhelpful.
Yeah.
Right. So my question would be, when do we say, no, you can't teach certain aspects of a false ideology within the context of American history? Because we don't want to say we don't want to be too quote unquote patriotic. We're like, and the slaves learned valuable skills. It's like, no, you sound stupid. Okay. However, if the entire conclusion is on some D'Angelo, Kimdy, the only way to fix prior discrimination is with current and future discrimination. Therefore, you know what I'm saying? Socialism. I think there is a fair bit to go, no, that's wrong. That's stupid. That's also stupid. So what do you guys make of that? And how do we navigate a conversation like, because I have a solution.
I'm really interested in understanding your solution because a part of me feels like, how do we do this with other things? Like, for example, we have freedom of speech, but you can't go into a movie theater and cry out fire.
Right. Right.
You can't just be like fire. You'll definitely go to jail for that. My question is more about the frame and the system that doesn't exist, that needs to exist, that would take into account the age that somebody is, and what grade that they're in, because depending on how old you are, right, and the grade that you're in, I don't think the idea for you to learn the darkest parts of our history should happen when you're, in second grade, right? I think that we should start talking about what things, fairness, but I don't have a solution. I really want to know what you're thinking about.
So I can only think of solutions in like our current context. And so I don't know about like reforming solutions, but I would just think that like one, homeschool, second, charter school, private Christian charter school, third, private schools. And so privatizing the school system so that you can choose schools that have
you're describing school choice, I think, is what you're describing
choice.
right
Exactly.
now.
Exactly. So in that order is kind of how what I think would be preferential. And then you can choose the school based off of the values that they propel. So you could be like, oh, okay, this one matches my family's values. So if you go to if you're super leftist, you can be like, oh, I want to go to the one where they do a fair assessment of Marxism and communism. It's like, send your kids there. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think ultimately I'm where you're at with school choice. Here's my solution. My grand solution.
I like it.
age appropriate, totally with you, right? Tell people the truth about history. These are the facts about history. My son is half Armenian, half black. We're not going to not tell him about the Armenian genocide of 1915, and we're not going to not tell him about slavery.
Dag, even his white side was oppressed.
Right?
Yep.
But
That white is
as godly parents, we're not going to frame it in a way where he's defeated, he can never get ahead. Your people have always been oppressed. We're not going to frame it that way, right? Because I think that creates nihilism. What I do think the solution is, and this is what I experienced on accident. What I do think the solution is let you have these framings, and then let people hash it out and debate, and let the students decide what they think about it.
Oh, that is good.
So when I
That
was
is really good.
when I was in high school,
We had Socratic seminars.
I had a teacher named Delgado who leaned a little left, and I had another teacher named Tambo. Tambo was a football coach, Italian cat, and did real estate privately.
Yeah.
Tambo was conservative. Delgado was liberal. I'm almost done with this sec. And I would go and I would hear one version of history, and then I would go into my English class and hear a different paradigm of the world.
Crazy.
And it was great because I grew up with this balance, like understanding both sides. Now, by today's standards, Delgado would be a conservative, right? Delgado would be a French conservative today, right? This is 20-something years ago. He was big in investment. He was big in, hey, get in the market as early as you can, own property, live on less than what you make, live on 80%. So I think let them have at it. Like present Thomas's Sowell version of history and economics, and then present the far left version that everyone's oppressed, and we're right. Let them hear both sides, and maybe even bring people or have debates. Show them best debates. Show them these things, and let the kids hear both sides and critically think through what it is they want to align with and how do they want to build their worldview.
I got you.
In the public school
That's
system.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's phenomenal. I think that that will revolutionize just in general how the teaching is done.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is that it sounds like what you're saying is like, hey, everybody's on the debate team.
Yeah.
Right. And
Let your teachers debate. Let the teachers hash it out.
Everybody,
Yeah.
the students and faculty. And on top of that, instead of doing these type of Scantron tests or these multiple choice tests, no, we're going to know how well you know this argument.
Yeah, because I think someone said that the teachers are supposed to be neutral. I think we're way past that.
No.
I think there's no more neutral.
There's no more neutral.
There's no more neutral. Everybody has an ideologic bent. And I think this would actually encourage conservatives to get back into teaching. Because if the curriculum takes an ideological bent, and then you got Heritage Foundation and you got Project 2025 trying to create a more conservative bent, just let them have both.
Yeah.
Get the best scholars of the best from the right side. Get the Jordan Petersons, the Thomas
I think you
Sowells.
got
Get
something.
all those people and let them have at it. Let them have at it.
I think you got something.
Yeah, I think it'll be fire.
No, I think you got something because for me that would make school exciting because like school right now is not that exciting. And to tell you the truth, even from the more liberal side of the conversation, a lot of these politicians, you know, they're doing all these things for public schools and stuff like that, but they don't even send their own kids to public schools.
That's right.
So for me, it's like, why am I going to trust you to send my kids to a public school when you don't do the same?
Yeah.
When you don't even believe in what you're giving out.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.